Abuja Love Stories. When the Jacarandas Bloom. Written and narrated by Hawa Ado.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before we begin, I'd like to say thank you for being here. As we all know, each city has its own story. Some makes us laugh, some teaches us to believe, and some remind us that hope is not truly lost. For a long time, I've dreamt of creating a space where we could just slow down, leave the noise of the day behind, and enjoy a good story together. Tonight, the dream begins. Welcome to the Abuja Love Stories. I'm Hawa Ado, and this is When the Jacarandas Bloom. Let's step into Abuja together. The city of possibilities. The first thing Abuja gives you is hope. It lives in the golden sunrise that stretches across Aso Rock each morning, in the orderly roads lined with flowering trees, in the quiet confidence of glass buildings that reflected the sky, and in the people who arrived every day carrying dreams tucked carefully inside worn backpacks, polished briefcases, and determined hearts. Some came seeking success, some came searching for a fresh start, others came looking for love. Which other way, the city welcomed them all without making promises. On this particular Thursday in late September, the air carried the scent of rain. Thick grey clouds drifted lazily above the skyline, threatening a downpour but holding back just long enough for the evening rush to begin. Cars crawled through the streets of Wusetu in neat lines, impatient horns rising and falling like an orchestra that had forgotten its rhythm. Roadside vendors called out to commuters. The aroma of roasted corn mingled with the smoky sweetness of suya. Young professionals hurried towards cafes where conversations lingered over cappuccinos and laptops glowed beneath warm amber lights. Abuja was beautiful at this hour, not because it was perfect, but because it felt alive. Hadiza Bello checked the time on her wristwatch for what felt like the 10th time, 5:32. She sighed. Miriam is going to kill me. Her younger sister had insisted they meet at Jabi Lake before sunset to celebrate the approval of Hadiza's latest interior design project. Don't be late this time, Miriam had warned over breakfast. You know I won't, Hadiza had replied with confidence. Now she was 32 minutes behind schedule. Again, her phone vibrated inside her handbag. Miriam, don't tell me you're still at work. Hadiza smiled despite herself and replied quickly, 5 minutes. The reply came almost instantly. Liar. A laugh escaped her lips. Somewhere behind her, her assistant Hawa shook her head with amusement. Your sister knows you too well. Unfortunately, she does. You'll still stop at a bookstore before meeting her, that I know. Yes, I might. You definitely will, Hawa said. Hadiza laughed. I don't have that much of an addiction, you know. Hawa folded her arms dramatically. Last month, you said you were only going to buy one notebook. I did. But you came back with 6 novels. But they were on sale. They were not. They looked lonely on that shelf. Hawa burst into laughter. I've never met anyone who adopts books. Hadiza shrugged innocently. They deserve a good home too. No, you need help, Hawa said. I need shelves instead of that. Both women laughed until tears formed in their eyes. Moments like this reminded Hadiza that happiness was rarely found in grand gestures. It hid in ordinary afternoons, shared jokes, warm tea, and kind people. She picked up her handbag and switched off the lights in her office. See you on Monday, Hawa. Don't forget to enjoy yourself, ma. I'll try. As she stepped outside, cool wind brushed against her face. The rain was coming. And across the city in Maitama, Ibrahim Musa stood before a scale model of a luxury residential estate. His office was quiet except for the soft hum of the air conditioner. Every building he designed began the same way. A blank sheet, an impossible dream, then line by line, hope became concrete, glass, steel, and home. He adjusted his glasses and studied the model carefully. No, he moved one miniature tree, stepped back, still no. Another, better, he smiled. Perfection wasn't about making things bigger, it was about noticing details everyone else ignored. A knock interrupted his thoughts. Shegun walked in carrying 2 takeaway cups of coffee and enough energy to power the entire city. I bring peace offerings, he said. You mean coffee? Exactly. Ibrahim accepted the cup. You're late again. Sorry, I was rescuing humanity, Shegun said. You were sleeping. No, I was rescuing humanity from my alarm clock. Ibrahim chuckled. You'll never change. I sincerely hope I don't. Shegun collapsed into the chair opposite him and looked around the office. You know what's missing here? Ibrahim didn't bother looking up at all. Here we go again, he muttered under his breath. A woman, Shegun said. I have employees, Shegun. A beautiful woman, I mean. Shegun, I have clients. A wife, perhaps? Silence. Shegun pointed triumphantly. Exactly. That's what I mean. I'm 31, not 90, and yet you behave like a retired grandfather. I'm focused. No, you're hiding. There's difference. Ibrahim looked out through the glass window overlooking the city. The playful smile slowly disappeared from his face. I've worked too hard to let emotions distract me. Shegun immediately regretted the joke. He knew exactly what Ibrahim meant. 3 years earlier, Ibrahim had been engaged to the woman he thought he would spend the rest of his life with. Then just 6 weeks before their wedding, she disappeared. Not because she had died, not because she had changed her mind. She had simply left Abuja with another man, without an explanation, not even a goodbye, and without looking back. The embarrassment has been unbearable. Family members whispered, friends avoided the subject. Business associates offered sympathetic smiles that only deepened the wound. Since then, work had become Ibrahim's refuge. Buildings didn't betray people. Blueprints never lied. Concrete didn't break promises. Shegun leaned forward. You know not everyone is like her, yes? I know. But knowing something and believing it are 2 different things. Shegun nodded. He understood more than Ibrahim realized. He had buried his own fiancée 5 years earlier after a tragic accident on the Kaduna-Abuja Expressway. Grief and heartbreak wore different faces. Both left scars. He raised his coffee cup and said, one day. What? Ibrahim snapped. Someone will walk into your life when you're least expecting it. Ibrahim smiled faintly. Life isn't a movie, Shegun. No, Shegun grinned. It's usually funnier. The first raindrops finally began to fall. Soft, gentle, almost apologetic. Hadiza hurried across the parking lot towards her car, clutching her handbag over her head in a hopeless attempt to stay dry. Within seconds, the rain grew heavier. She laughed as droplets splashed against her shoes. Oh no, she shrieked. By the time she reached her car, she was already soaked. She unlocked the door and climbed inside, brushing damp strands of hair back beneath her hijab. Her phone buzzed again. If you stop for books, I'm telling Mama wallahi. Hadiza laughed so hard she nearly dropped the phone. No books. Hey, pause. Then another message. Promise? Hadiza stared ahead. Directly opposite the parking lot stood her favorite bookstore. Large glass windows, warm yellow lights, shelves she knew almost by heart. She smiled guiltily. I promise. She waited 3 seconds before sending another message. I'll only browse through. Mariam replied with a single emoji. 20 minutes later, the rain had slowed to a gentle drizzle. The bookstore smelled exactly as Hadiza remembered it. Fresh pepper, coffee, wooden shelves, quiet, peace. She wandered through the fiction section, running her fingertips lightly across book spines as though greeting old friends. A little boy sat cross-legged on the floor, completely absorbed in a picture book. An elderly man read poetry near the window. Soft instrumental music drifted through hidden speakers. For Hadiza, places like this felt sacred. Books reminded her that everyone carried invisible stories. Some joyful, some painful, some still unfinished. She reached towards a newly displayed novel, just as someone turned into the same aisle from the opposite direction. Neither saw the other, not until it was late. Their shoulders collided, a paper shopping bag slipped from strong hands, books scattered across the polished floor. "Oh, I'm so sorry." The apology came from both of them at exactly the same time. For a heartbeat, they simply stared. He was tall, neatly dressed in a navy blue shirt with the sleeves rolled up to his forearms. Raindrops still clung to his shoulders, and there was an easy steadiness about him. She wore an emerald green hijab that framed warm brown eyes, now wide with embarrassment. A tiny raindrop rested on her cheek, catching the soft bookstore light like a crystal. Both bent to gather the falling books, and their hands reached for the same hardcover, and their fingers brushed. A strange silence settled between them. Not awkward, not uncomfortable, just unexpected. He smiled first. "I think these books wanted us to meet." Hadiza looked up, surprised by the gentle humor in his eyes, and shyly said, "Oh, they were protesting being drugged, yes?" He laughed, a genuine laugh that reached his eyes. "I suppose that's possible too." The elderly man by the window glanced over the top of his glasses, smiled knowingly, and returned to his poetry. Outside, the rain continued to kiss the streets of Abuja. Inside, beneath warm lights and surrounded by thousands of stories, another one had quietly begun. Neither Ibrahim Musa nor Hadiza Bello would have imagined that this ordinary Thursday evening would one day become the date they celebrated every year. Years from now, they would laugh about the books that fell between them. But for now, they were simply two strangers, completely unaware that destiny had just whispered their names into the same sentence. Thank you for spending the evening with me at the Jacaranda Corner. See you next time.